Yo guys, what's up? Today we're going to be doing a video about the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game, or basically Budokai Tenkaichi 4, for here people here in the West. I have my brother here with me. We're going to talk about it because we both kind of grew up with the games and whatnot, and we're very familiar with it, and we've been waiting for this just like a lot of other people for a very, very, very long time. What, like almost 20 years? Like what, 17, 18 years? Some shit like that?
Yeah, just
Yeah, it's been since 2007. I don't know if my math is correct, but like it's almost, I know it's approaching like 15 to 20 years, so we finally got it. So we're just gonna, sit here and talk and give like our thoughts and opinions and hopes and dreams and stuff for what we would like to see in the game. But how do you feel so far about like just the trailer and what you've seen and whatnot? I guess we could talk about that real quick.
I mean, I'm excited for it for sure. It's one of those like situations where, like, for me at least, it's like you see it, right, and then you obviously, since it's so short, you don't have a lot of time to really like make a ton of like, I don't know, like predictions and like think about it. But all in all, I mean, it looks like it's going to be good. It seems very similar to what we were playing as kids, right? Tenkaichi 1, 2, and 3. 3 being the best, right? So it looks very similar. Obviously, they could change things up relating to like the game, right? Because obviously we're in a modern time, right? So like compared to Tenkaichi 3, right? It's an older game. Game came out in what, like 2007, if I remember right.
Yeah.
We're getting this game in 2023. Well, probably further into the future, but the announcement that we got, it's 2023, right? So, I mean, who knows, right? I can only hope that it's going to be good and that it meets the expectations that, everyone has.
Right.
I mean, like, around the world, not just us, though, you know what I mean? Or like our friend group, just everyone in general. So hopefully it's good. That's all I hope.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that 100%. And the only thing I'm kind of scared of, because like with I don't know if I would want to call it an unfortunate reality, but like the reality is the Dragon Ball fandom, Dragon Ball community, we are probably one of the biggest anime communities, right? I think it's safe to say that. But we are very particular about certain things, and like every Dragon Ball game sells pretty damn well. And the only thing that I run into sometimes is like a lot of people are kind of picky, and so like every Dragon Ball game, like no matter what, it's always overhyped for sure, and then the expectations are crazy high, and then the game comes out and then it doesn't meet those expectations that the community had put or wished for or hoped for, and people tend to start bashing it and blah blah blah. That's just how it goes almost every game that comes out, right? The only 2 games that I can really think of that really hit the nail on the head in like what people wanted was Dragon Ball Fighters, and Dragon Ball Kakarot. Those 2, people deem those as like the best 2 Dragon Ball games that we've gotten in recent years, because Xenoverse was okay, it brings something new to the table. Well, I mean, I guess that was Ultimate Tenkaichi. Ultimate Tenkaichi did the character creator, but it wasn't very in depth. Like it wasn't much to it. It was just couple clothes, couple gis, you can customize the colors, and that was really it. And then like the hairstyles wasn't that good. There wasn't much customization, but Xenoverse was something new. It was a whole new kind of story. It changed up like different events, like people interrupting things or changing things in the timeline. That was cool. It was something brand new, right? It wasn't just the same old Raditz comes to Earth and blah blah blah, Frieza saga, stuff like that. It was different. It was changed. It was altered. It was cool. I thought it was cool. The character creator was pretty good too. It wasn't the best ever, but it was definitely better than Ultimate Tenkaichi for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and things of that nature. But yeah, I just hope. So this could be a very mediocre Dragon Ball game, which would be very disappointing because this is Tenkaichi 4, Sparking Zero, right? So it's like everybody's been wanting this, right? Or this could be the absolute best Dragon Ball game ever, because I think it's safe to say that Tenkaichi 3, or I guess Sparking Meteor in Japan, holds that title even still to this day, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's just a ton of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, some of them fought, like more of the lesser characters. So like people you didn't really play as. So like I don't know, Cybermen, all that. Like they kind of played the same, but like important characters, obviously, they played pretty uniquely, right? So like overall though, like that game was just the best, right? I think in a sense like that's like the peak of where like Dragon Ball video games really is, because like there's not really much else. And then the thing too though is like, even though Fighters is a Dragon Ball game, it's still much more a fighting game rather than like an arcade, beat 'em up, if that makes sense, like a fighter. So it is very different. Like you see people play Fighters at like tournaments and shit, as opposed to like I don't, not to my knowledge, there's never been like a major event that has had like any Tenkaichi games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all in all, yeah, I hope that it's just a good game, right? And that it meets expectations, and it's good enough for everybody to where nobody complains. Because that's, a major issue is that people nitpick left and right. So if we can just, I don't know, in a sense, compromise and all, if we just have a solid game, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. I will say this though, I think no matter what, whether like depending, because everyone's gonna buy this game anyway, right? I think the game, like how Geekdom was saying earlier in his video, he was saying that no matter what, the game is gonna sell. Like every Dragon Ball game sells. Like it's just what happens, and there's a huge potential for a Sparking 1, 2, 3, or whatever, like a sequel to this, So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I can only hope, but I guess we just gotta wait for this one, see how this one does. But I do think this will sell no matter what, because every Dragon Ball the game does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, the biggest example...
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah, the biggest example was, like, back then when Dragon Ball Sagas came out. Like, still to this day, Sagas has probably one of the worst reputations ever for a Dragon Ball game. But guess what? I'm pretty sure the game still did pretty well, But yeah, I guess from there we can segue on to the character roster. Yeah, so we could talk about that, because like damn well this game is gonna have many characters, right? And that's what the Tenkaichi 3. Yeah, that's what the Tenkaichi 3 game is like so famous for. The Tenkaichi series, really, it's the roster. They had like all of the characters from like Dragon Ball all the way to GT back then, and now we have more. We have Super, we have Dragon Ball Daima coming out. Like, that's crazy, Yep. And now with better technology and systems and all that, obviously you can do a lot more. You can fill the game up more. But yeah, man, let's talk about that. The roster. So I'm gonna let you go first. What do you want to see? Who do you want to see specifically? What are you excited for when it comes to the roster? Who are you hoping for? Who are you hoping not to see? Because I mean, there are certain like situations where Tenkaichi 3 had like Raspberry or like a pool, if I remember right. I know Xenoverse did for sure, but like no one really wants to play as them. Like, I mean, I guess for maybe like shits and giggles, sure, but like a lot of people feel like those were character slots wasted. So you just like let me know how you feel about all that.
I mean, overall, I hope there's plenty of characters, right? The more characters there are, the more reason you have to play, in a sense. because you'll have more replayability, right? Like, say if you're one of those people who likes to do random, like you randomize your team and just play with whoever you get. That's the more people, the more chance you have to play as different characters. But in terms of who I would want to see, I mean, honestly, anyone. I'm not opposed to having like characters like a Pool and Raspberry, even though they're not like integral to the story. I mean, Raspberry technically is, right, if I remember, because he was in the Moro arc.
He was.
But
I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
He's in there, so
He's
technically he's an important character now.
Yeah. I think he's the one that helped Moro break out of the prison. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah. They kind of got me excited, low-key.
Yeah, like he's technically an important character now, even though he's not very strong and whatnot. He's still kind of integral now because he did cause like the jailbreak and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm not opposed to like the lesser characters, right? Like technically, you could say that a Cell Jr. is a lesser character because like even though they were strong, they were beating the shit out of like Trunks, Tien, everyone at the time. They're still fun. Like, just the fact that, like, they're fun to play as. Like, come on. Like, their voice lines were always, like, super iconic in the games, too. Whether it be, like, Budokai or, like, Tenkaichi. They just say, like, kind of, like, weird, funny shit.
Yeah, like,
so,
the guy forgive me or some shit, right?
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's like what the hell is that? But it was still, like, something that you remember. I don't think there's anybody I wouldn't want to see. Like I said, I mean, I would love to get as many characters as possible, but obviously that's not gonna happen, right? Like the Butterfly girls in the Tournament of Power, they got like booted out of the tournament in like the first 2-3 episodes. Yeah, so like they don't really matter, but like seeing people like obviously Ribrianne, who was the other ones that I forgot the other two names, but like those characters would be really cool to see. As I told you before, right, like Kato Pelsa, like the Power Ranger kind of guy, he was cool, right? I would love to see him. He got a decent amount of screen time, right? So seeing him in the game would be pretty freaking cool, in my opinion. Obviously, Topo, and then like him being able to like transform into like his God Topo form, right? Obviously Frieza, you have to have Frieza. We saw him in the recent trailer. So him going all the way to gold, true golden Frieza would be wonderful. Who else? Oh, Majikayo, like that like liquid guy. Whatever, I think he was like liquid. He was like interesting, right? Like obviously he got fucking off screen real quick by fucking. Well, he didn't get off screen, but like you know what I mean. He just got took out with like no problem by Jiren. Jiren just wind forced his ass out of the fucking the ring. You know, but like outside of that, yeah, no, like I don't know, man. Give as many characters as possible, right? I know people are gonna shit talk Chaozu, but Chaozu's still a character, and he was still relevant for a decent amount of time. Obviously, before they started fighting gods and ancient beings, you know what I mean? Like when they were fighting the Saiyans, he didn't do much, but he blew himself up. He blew off this dude's armor, so
right,
you know. But so like Chaozu is still a viable character in my opinion, and you can have a lot of fun just memeing your friends with Chaozu.
Oh yeah.
So imagine fucking you're doing like if they have it team battles, you get your opponent to like their last character to have just barely any HP. You switch to Chaozu and you blow them up. That would be funny.
Yeah.
They would be so salty over that. It'd be the best thing ever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember that. If I remember back in the day when we first met, like whenever we would hang out with like Brendan and Cody for the first time, I think he did that back then to disrespect me at the time. He switched to Chaozu and killed me with Chaozu. As a little dude, I was so upset, bro.
Yeah.
But no,
I mean that's something.
Yeah.
That was something I thoroughly enjoyed doing in fighters, because obviously like you saw like one of my teams I had Tien on there, so I'd just like air combo them, bring them down to have like no HP left, and I just call in Chaozu, he blows them up. You know what I mean? Like that's funny, you know, especially because a lot of people meme Chaozu because he doesn't really do anything, and then you have like a bridge calling him a freaking Pokemon, so got blown up by a Pokemon. But yeah, no, I would love to see as many characters as possible overall. obviously, like, yeah, just give us what you can.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any character like this is going to be a character I think maybe would be controversial, but I think it would be super funny to have said character because like all the jokes and the character I'm specifically talking about is Farmer with Shotgun. I
Yeah.
think that would be like the funniest meme character because like obviously Hercule's going to be in it. We've seen Hercule, and we know with like previous track records, you've seen the damage that Hercule does in every game. He does literally nothing. So just do the same thing with Farmer with Shotgun. You can shoot them with the gun and it just the shells just bounce off of them or something.
Dude, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that
that'd
would
be funny.
That would be hilarious, dude. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. That's like my thoughts and opinion in yourself.
Yeah, yeah. So for me, definitely, and I doubt we'll get like manga characters, right? Because like they tend to not do that. I don't think there's really been any game that's really covered that. Like not even Dokkan Battle or Legends has like explored manga's only characters.
Dokkan has done it a little, like with small like little nuances, right? We have like Fusion Zamasu or Merge Zamasu, as like the fandom mostly calls him, and they used his attack from the manga, but it wasn't directly like Zamasu from the manga. You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah, but what I mean is like only like we haven't got like a Moro yet or a Granola.
Yeah.
Like only manga characters at the moment. I don't think any form of media for like any Dragon Ball game has done that, but I don't know. I doubt there'll be manga characters, but like for sure, yeah, like I said, like Moro would be awesome to play as. I doubt he'd be in the game until they get animated and then afterwards. But like Moro, Granola, I just have like Granola's cool as hell. Like I don't know, a lot of people don't like him, right? Because like, you know,
the pay to win
joke. He's just like a pay to win character. He's wish for all the power, this and that, right? But he was already strong on his own before the wish. But like the thing is, like I remember being younger back then. Like like imagine if a character got the Dragon Balls and wished for power. And that's the thing, we got that with Granola. Like, no character has really done that in this series, at least that I can remember, that has done that. And like Granola did that, you know. And I thought that was kind of cool because like that just kind of that filled in something that everybody, or at least I thought of as a kid for sure. But yeah, in terms of like other characters that I would like to see, or I know like I'd love to play as for sure, is like, you know, Piccolo in the new movie, whether it's just himself and then like maybe the awakened form and then his orange form, like that'd be amazing to play as, you know. So far the only games that we've had with him in it is like, you know, Xenoverse 2, which it was cool, like he had a cool little move set and stuff, but you know, it's Xenoverse, you know, it's nothing crazy, you know what I mean, but it's cool that he was there. And then I believe Legends has an Orange Piccolo and Awakened Piccolo in it, and Dokkan Battle too. But like I said, those are mobile games. You can't really get too much out of those characters and whatnot in terms of gameplay mechanics. But yeah, I think this would be the first like major game to do him justice and you can have fun with him, you know. So I'm excited to potentially play as like Piccolo. Hopefully they got his two new forms. Obviously, Beast Gohan, you know, everybody wants that. The new Makanko Southpole, Social Beam Cannon, that's going to be really cool to see. And then for like Tournament of Power characters, so in the trailer you saw Jiren in there already. You saw Ranger 17, which is cool, and whatnot. And then we saw, what was his name? The wolf brother, the Grey Wolf. What's his name?
Bergamo.
Bergamo. Yeah, he was in the trailer too.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I would only assume the trio are all going to be there.
Trio the Dangers.
Yeah, I would only assume that. But in terms of like the side characters that we may or may not see, Definitely Kelto Pilsa, like the Power Ranger guy. He's cool. Like you bring him up earlier. Like he has those modes, like the speed mode and the power mode, I believe. Like those are gonna be really cool if they end up having him in the game. Also, that Genos guy or Ganos, he was like a spy.
Yeah.
He turned into like that duck or some shit. I think it'd be cool to see him too, because like we saw him fight Master Roshi quite a bit, and then I think he ran away from someone. I don't know if it was like Vegeta or Goku, but like they confronted him and he ended up running away. But then that's when he came upon Master Roshi. But we saw him fight Master Roshi quite a bit, so like there's a like we saw his attacks. He had like that electric attack that shocked Master Roshi. He had a bunch of other attacks and whatnot, and we saw him throw punches and kicks too. So like, you know, it wouldn't. I don't think it would be that hard to replicate that in the game, put it in there, right? I'm not too sure though. Yeah, he would be cool. Those snipers would be in there that had.
That would be pretty tricky to like turn into gameplay, in my opinion, unless they like can figure out some like gimmick for that.
Right. Think of too many other people. I mean, obviously the Dragon Ball Daima, we don't have it. It's not out yet as of the recording here today. But I don't know. Apparently, there's rumors of us getting a roster with some of the characters from that. And it's not even out yet. So like that's crazy. I would love to see Gamma 1 and 2 for sure. Like I think they'd be perfect for the game. We've seen
I think it will be.
Yeah.
I think they will be.
We've seen quite a bit from them in the movie, so there's a lot of attacks and whatnot that they can do. Like imagine like with because I don't know if the games could be like very cinematic with the animations, like for the super attacks and ultimate attacks. Like, but imagine like Gamma 2 has like his ultimate is like the dive bomb that he did when he died.
Yeah.
Like, dude, that would be really cool. That would be really cool. So we can move on to like game mechanics if you want to go ahead and try to open up about that, because I know you have a lot more experience with the games since I was a little younger. So I know I used to watch you play them all the time and stuff, but in terms of the mechanics, what mechanics do you want to see from the different games, right? For example, if you can pull a mechanic from Tenkaichi 3, obviously is the foundation, right? But like I know there are some mechanics from like Rage and Blast 2 that people loved, some from Xenoverse that people loved, and all that. So what would you like to see and what won't you want to see?
Probably, okay, so in terms of like from other games, so from Tenkaichi 3, I'd probably like to see this is probably given, I think a lot of people would say this, like the beam clashes, which it seems like that is going to be a thing with how the trailer kind of portrayed everything. You know what I mean? Like how Vegeta shot the Gallic gun, and then Goku dodges, shoots a Kamehameha, and then they both transform, and then they both launch a Kamehameha in Final Flash. The way that ended, it kind of seemed like, yeah, there's probably going to be beam struggles.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's the case. Now, I do hope they kind of change it, just because obviously nowadays we got a lot of issues with like stick drift and stuff. A lot of people complain about stick drift, right? And if you have it still the same way, like designed the same way that like Tenkaichi 3 was, where you're going to be just fucking spinning your stick, you're going to get stick drift very fast. Okay? So if they can change that to button mashing, that's nice. But if they keep it the same, I won't complain. At that point, just get a bunch of controllers and just be ready. You know what I mean?
Right. Prepare for debt.
Yeah. Just buy a bunch of controllers. But like overall, yeah, like that foundation of like Tenkaichi 3 is very important. I mean, it is a sparking game. Whether you want to call it Tenkaichi or sparking, doesn't matter. It is one of those games. So it needs to have kind of like that skeleton in a sense. Now, as from pulling from like literally other games, I'm glad that we actually have the deflect from Raging Blast, because that was actually a really nice mechanic to have. Instead of having to be forced to tank an attack and take some chip damage, you can actually just outright neutralize the attack.
Right.
Which is actually really cool. But obviously you have to have good timing for that. And that happening online is probably not going to be as frequent just because you are going to deal with delay. What else? Oh, there's like a Xenoverse 2. What was like different from Xenoverse 2 that I like remember?
Mm, um,
There's not really much. I mean, it was like all like, I mean, you could use items. I think that's like cool. Now there has to be like a limit to what you can and can't use, or if like, say you're going to be doing matchmaking, because obviously this game is going to have online play. If you're doing matchmaking, you should be able to turn it off whether you use items or not. And if you do use items, what items you can and can't bring. I think that'd be really cool because obviously if you're going to be stacked up on items that you could potentially buy from like the shop or earn through playing story mode or whatever, if you're going to sit here and exploit all that, then yeah, don't even put that in the game. um I don't think it's really a mechanic as well, but like from Xenoverse character creation, I don't want to see that. As I told you like actually earlier, like character creation's nice, but it does kill like online play, especially competitively, I guess, when people just do nothing but make broken builds, right? And then you have people on YouTube showing other people how to make broken builds, and then you just get this kind of like endless loop of, oh well, this build is the best, and then they like put out a patch to nerf it, and then someone else puts out another video on a new broken build. That shit is just, it's tiring, and it makes the gameplay boring because everybody just plays the same thing so that they can get wins instead of actually playing it off of skill, which sounds like super elitist, but like, I don't know, I just find it more entertaining when everybody can play in their own unique way. So there's that. Outside of it though, I mean, that's really it. I mean, there's not much that I really want in the game. I just want it to feel like it's a Tenkaichi game, right, like we grew up with, you know. Obviously in-game transformations are important. So far we know that is in the game because obviously we've seen them transform. What else would be swapping? I hope they still have the swap like feature where if like, oh shit, you want to save your best character for last, you can swap them out with someone else. I hope they still have like fusion as well. So from like Tenkaichi 3, right? If you have Goku and Vegeta on the same team, you could do a specific button combination, or sometimes you needed like a certain amount of like build up. I think it was like meter, and you could use like 2 meter, and then they would fuse into a whole new character. You know what I mean? Like they would fuse into Vegeta or Gogeta, depending on which one you used. So I think that would be really cool to have, just so that, yeah, if you want to like play someone else or like surprise a friend, you could just do that. But we'll see.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that 100%. Yeah, that'd be really cool. I will say one thing that I do want to see, and I know it was a game from like 2007, you know, because like they couldn't really do much, but like a lot of the characters, right? It was a massive game, a massive roster back then, 2007, but like a lot of the characters kind of fought the same. Something from Xenoverse 1 and 2, especially 2, each character was unique. They didn't fight the same. There wasn't the same kind of punch that they would do. Every character had their own kind of style of fighting, whether it was like punches and kicks and flips and this and that, and blah blah blah. I want to see, hopefully, if every I guess depending if they have character creator or not, or even if with it, right? Because Xenoverse did it, why not, right? But like, I want to see each and every character fight uniquely. Like, not, I don't want it to be like the same skeleton and whatnot. Like, that's gonna be a little boring. But like,
yeah,
you know, Goku, he had like the very like martial art kind of like style, right? Whatever, with his moveset. And then Vegeta's very much just like a brawler, right? He's just like throw his hands and shit. That I want to see like the difference like that, you know, especially like with Cell, like first form Cell. He would mainly fight with his tail and whatnot. That was really cool, right? And things of like that. That's I 100% agree with you with everything else, you know, especially like with the Raging Blast 2 deflects. That's cool. I hope that comes back, or I mean it is back, but you know, I'm glad it's back for sure. And then yeah, if anything if there was anything for me to add on to what you just said, is yeah, just hopefully they adopt the whole every character's unique fighting style. You know, I hope that's a thing, because it would be really disappointing for like a new modern game to be kind of like just the same old, like, oh, everyone fights the same attack animations and stuff like that. That would kind of suck. But I would only imagine every character is unique. But yeah, that's definitely something I hope to see. But yeah, that would be it for that. Now I will say I'm excited for potential kaiju battles again. That's gonna be fun. I remember like getting the biggest characters like Harudagon, and then like for example, we might see Cell Max as a kaiju character. You know, that would be really cool. Yeah. And yeah, because like you just throw them in the city, you just start battling out, you know, throwing energy blast and fire breath attacks everywhere. It was really cool. It was really cool. Though I will say the kaiju battles were really tough because like they took up like a majority of the screen. So like it was just yeah, it was tough. Yeah. Hopefully they find a way to maybe zoom out for like the bigger characters. I will say this though, you know, stage destruction, mountains and hills, and create valleys with a Kamehameha or Final Flash that extends miles. I want to see a zoom out of the Earth and like a huge energy beam just go straight to space. Shit like that, you know, like the typical shit we most likely will see, but man, like make it good, because like a game that really does that well outside of Dragon Ball is like the Storm 4, like Storm series. The animations for like the jutsus and the attacks, like, you know, Kirin and all these other attacks, like, dude, like they just were beautiful. And it's gonna be Unreal Engine 5, so it's I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful either way. But something I hope is like the particle effect kind of thing going on, so it looks all pretty and shit. Because I know Ultimate Tenkaichi did that really well. Like, still to this day, one of my favorite attacks for Ultimate Tenkaichi was, I think it was Super Saiyan 3 Goku's True Kamehameha. The True Kamehameha, like, just looked so cool, because whenever he started conjuring up, when he put his hands together and he conjured up all the energy, like, it appeared as, like, blue sparkles or, like, blue bubbles. It was just really cool. At least my brain remembers that. Maybe I'm remembering, but like I know True Kamehameha was definitely one of my favorite attacks in that game. But yeah, like aside from that, stage destruction for sure. Because Xenoverse 2 had a little bit, but like it would just regenerate and go back to normal after a few seconds, and that was really disappointing. And Ultimate Tenkaichi did the stage destruction, but like it was just like it was a background kind of thing, so it was easy. But if we could have like a real-time live stage destruction that stays the whole match, that would be really cool. That would be dope, because like it just gives more immersion and more realism. Because whenever you're seeing these dudes battle in the anime and in the manga and all that, they're like slamming each other through like buildings and making craters and like just throwing each other through planets and shit, you know? And that's just cool as hell. Like, I don't know, man, that just gets me really excited, like really excited. And I'm sure they'll do something nice with that. And like you bring up earlier, like the beam struggles and beam clashes, like in a trailer it seemed like that was going to be a thing. Hopefully it isn't a toggle spin. Hopefully it's just like a button mash. That'd be a lot better for the controllers. But yeah, man. Also online play, I hope they find a way to balance that out and not make it terrible like how Xenoverse is sometimes, because that's just not fun. And then to forward your point about the character creator, I don't blame you. I don't think so. I'm okay with character creator mostly for some games, but I feel like it's best if we leave it out for this one because, yeah, people making these broken character builds, that's just like, it drains the fun from the game, right? Because it's not fun to going against somebody that has this broken build and it just completely washes you. Or like it just has these like cheap ass gimmicks and like exports that they could do. Like you remember, what was it, Xenoverse 2? Remember the aura slide attack? Remember how broken and messed up that shit was? Like people would just poke you, poke, and it staggered the shit out of you and they just destroy your health. Like that was not fun to go against. And I stopped playing Xenoverse 2 for a while after that, but I don't know, you just always have these broken builds and then, you know, it's just, nah, I'm good. I'm good, homie, I'm good.
There's also the key canceling from Xenoverse 2 that they never fixed.
Yeah, I know.
So hopefully that shit doesn't exist either.
That shit would suck, dude. That shit was not fun. But yeah, man, I think that wraps everything up. I appreciate you coming here and talking to me about this and whatnot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was good talking to you as always, and it's always good talking to you guys listening, the viewers, and maybe we can make more videos soon. Definitely whenever they decide to drop gameplay or like another trailer or whatever, I'm definitely going to try to react to it, and maybe I can get my brother here again or some friends and we all can react to it together and talk about it just like how we did here. And with that, everyone watching the video, you guys take care. Thank you for watching and have a good day. Take care.